All right. Holiday wrap up. So I decided that at 5 p.m. Christmas Day, I was going to begin a 72-hour water fast. All right, let's go back in time a little bit. I've been training for a marathon. They're just a little pop-up fun run marathon. It's not a sanctioned race or anything like that. It's just a fun run with some friends, some run club members. We're going to be doing the Rusty Fish marathon route in a few weeks, a couple weeks, 2.5 weeks-ish, January 14th. And I've been training, and my training is going so well. I had a couple of hiccups. I had some days where, my body was just like, hey, man, chill, bro. So the runs weren't as great as I would have liked them to be. And then, bang, I had a absolute amazing, 15-mile run. Felt great. Lungs are great. Legs were great. Keeping the pace nice and slow, right around 10-minute pace. I hope to kick that up to a 9-minute-ish, 8:50 to 9-minute-ish pace for the actual day that I run the marathon. In any event, I'm not going to dive into those analytics, but I got sick, right? I got sick. I still, if you could probably hear it in my voice, I'm still a little nasally. I feel 80%. And it sidelined me. I missed a few short runs. I missed a 19-mile run. I haven't achieved anything farther than 15 miles in my training. And like I said, I've only got a couple of weeks to go, and I really need to be in the taper side of things. I'm going to do one last banger of a long run this weekend. Listen, I know I can do the marathon. Will I be at peak physical performance? Probably not. But, I mean, it sucks. It's like you get an injury or whatever. I'm starting to get in my head a little bit. Like, oh, fuck, I'm not going to be able to finish the race. I'm not going to be able to do this. I'm going to have to ask for a ride back. I'm going to finish it. I probably won't, if I'm being honest with myself, I won't finish in my goal time, which is to be at, or best case scenario, below 4 hours. But we're going to give it the old college try. So anyways, back to the 72-hour water fast, of which I have 9 hours left to go. And I can't wait. I can't wait for dinner tonight. I've been plotting in my head what I'm going to make. But I have to be very careful about what I put in, because I don't want to destroy my stomach. I don't want to destroy the bathroom. You know what I mean? I've been, kind of into fasting for the last couple of years. I would do a lot of intermittent fasting. I've gone as long as 24 hours. This is my first attempt, which I think I'm crushing, by the way. Coffee has been an absolute fucking lifesaver during this event. I'm totally going to make it to tonight at 5 p.m. And the weird thing is, I mean, I haven't been hungry, right? I haven't been oh man, I'm so hungry, I need to eat. Not even close. I only think about food when I'm talking about food. And I've been cooking dinners at home like normal. So on the all right, we'll get to the fast, what I'm doing, but let's talk about why I'm doing the fast. Quick and sidetrack, dickhead. All right. So it kind of comes in play because I've been thinking about what can I do to like speed up, my metabolism, to drop some pounds. There's a lot of things that I was doing wrong and that I've been doing wrong for a number of years. I'm very athletic. I do a lot of cycling, running in particular, distance running, trail running, and I've been doing that pretty consistently and aggressively for the last few years. It's become much more of a passion for me. But the needle on the scale hasn't really moved. I work out 7 days a week. All right. I bet you out of 365 years, barring an illness or an injury, I maybe take 14 days a year off. And that's the truth. Whether that's, every day I'm doing something physical. The gym, or a run, or a bike ride, maybe some yoga, or the gym and a run, the gym and a bike ride. 2 a days are often with me. But the problem is, my diet is dog shit. And I'm plant-based. And I gotta, and so the issue with that is, I eat really well at home. I eat like shit at work, or also drink too many beers. If I'm being really honest, it's definitely the too many beers thing, because with beers comes pretzels. And with pretzels comes more beer. And with more beer comes more pretzels. And that's an issue. That's a shitload of calories, even if you're drinking light beer. What am I getting at? Dial it in, James. Here's the other thing. Like I'm so clear and like full of energy on this fast. It's nuts. It's nuts. It's everything people say it is. I feel I've got energy. I'm a little like sluggish in terms of like, my muscle capacity and my endurance. But like I have mental energy, a focus, which is not really showing through in this podcast right now because I'm rambling like a dumb shit. But anyways, where was I going? My diet, right? So what's happening is I'm putting on 50 to 60 miles a week training and sprinkling in there cross training at the gym, right? So I'm still pretty heavy into the 7-day-a-week plan that I've always been on, but increasing the mileage in my runs to get ready for the marathon. And what I'm not doing is dialing in my diet. You can, and I 100% believe you can outwork a shitty diet. But you got to be full fucking throttle the whole time. I'm 45 years old. If I was doing what I'm doing now, eating the way I am right now, I'd be losing weight too fast. My metabolism's changed. I'm older. I can't metabolize as fast as I used to. I need to retool that. Because what was happening to me, believe it or not, burning 2,500, 3,000 calories, almost 4,000 calories on my long runs, averaging somewhere around 600 to 1,000 calories burned at the gym on a really good workout day, but basically somewhere around probably on average 500 a day at the gym. So like, and then eating and not I think it's really good to do some type of caloric intake tracking. All right. In the past, I've used apps like MyFitnessPal to track my calories and my macros, which helped immensely. And I'm definitely going to go back to that because I have to be cognizant about what I'm putting in my body and the volume that's going in based on the calories I'm burning. So I haven't been doing that. So like I would typically, because again, the fasting thing, I eat dinner roughly around the 6 o'clock mark almost every night. It's just kind of when our family is available and sits down at the table, and I like eating a little bit early when I'm at home. So let's say 7 o'clock, I'm done eating. I definitely don't put any calories into my body until at least 10 o'clock. So we're looking at 14, 15 hours of no eating. Is that right? 7 to 7 is 12. We get to 10 o'clock. That's another, do math, 8, 9, 10. So another 3 hours. So 15 hours. So my body's used to not eating for extended periods of time. But, man, when I start, it's like, oh, we've got chips open at the store. Let's eat some of those. Oh, hey, what are we doing for lunch today? And it's always takeout. And then lately it's been because, in my mind, I'm like, I need to have a pretty decent amount of carbs in my system because of all of the mileage I'm putting on. And then, and I do all my training for the most part in the morning before I turn the key at the shop or turn the lights on at the podcast or start working on anything for Nomi Racing. And so that means in the afternoon, Daddy's free to indulge, right? Hey, let's have a beer. Hey, let's try this new beer. And then before you know it, a couple beers, go home. I got beers in the garage fridge. I got beers in the fridge. So maybe have a couple of more. And I like a good beer. I drink a lot of light beer, but I like a nice, strong IPA. So just quick math. That could be upwards. 600-700 additional calories. And on a really good day, it could be like 1,000, depending on the kind of beer I'm drinking. So if I'm eating 2,500 calories a day, drinking another 6, 7, 8, 900 calories in beverages, it's not equaling itself out. I'm not in a deficit. And that's not good when you're trying to lose weight. So no matter the training I was doing, the volume of training I was doing, the volume of miles I was putting on, I was gaining weight. And as a runner, if you want to be faster, if you want to have more longevity in your runs, aside from good nutrition and very good training, you got to kind of trim the fat, right? And I was putting on pounds. I jumped 10 pounds. There's no excuse. Holidays, there's a lot of shit around to nibble on. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to bring a fucking basket of cookies. What are you doing? And I'm addicted to sugar, which is why in my house we don't have any. Because I'll eat it. And I got to be gracious, right? I got to be thankful and grateful when somebody says, "Here, Merry Christmas. Here's a big basket of all this shit that's horrible for you, but you love it. You want it." Got a little devil on my shoulder. "Oh, it's just one cookie. It's just one cookie, Jim." So anyways, just I'm like a fat piece of shit. I've been big before, right? I've been a big dude before. And it's taken a lot of years to get this temple where it's at. And I've been fucking it up lately, eating like shit, having too many beverages. I got to dial it in. So, hence, the 72-hour water fast. Because in my mind, I'm really extreme when it comes to some shit. When it comes to, I can really get extreme and passionate about things. And when I want to make a change, we're making the change. Betsy, my wife, totally in on this. She was like, "Do you, babe? Get yourself going. We're shedding skin. We're evolving. Things are moving quickly in our universe. We're out there moving and shaking. We're building something greater than ourselves, I think. I hope. Better life, better relationships, stronger connections between my wife and I, my children, my family, and my friends, stronger connections in the community, James, you're talking about a 72-hour fast. Where the fuck are you going? Where I'm going is I'm shedding. I gotta dial this shit in. So I said, I'm going to start with a 72-hour fast. I'm going to clean out my system. I'm going to get rid of toxins. And then I'm going to dial in my diet. Focus on getting some good, decent, incremental miles in on my runs to prepare for the marathon. And I'm going to get that checked off the list. And then we are going to keep the wagon train moving. Healthy body, healthy mind, 2024 and beyond. It's just going to help dial everything else in. It's going to dial in my businesses, because the plate's getting full, guys. I've got things I have to accomplish for Manistee Beverage. I've got a ton of shit on my plate for Nomi Racing as we prepare for Run the Pier and the Rusty Fish, and I want that all dialed in. And in order for it to be dialed in, I have to be dialed in. My mind has to be working crisp and focused. My body has to have the energy it needs to do all these things. I'm going to be running more races this spring and summer. I'm going to be hopefully traveling more, supporting my friends that are doing races, doing more with my family, with Betsy, together, separately. I got a son that's going off to college. I want my kids to see what I perceive as doing it right looks like. Start your day in gratitude as much as possible. For me, that's typically, I could do that like total podcast bro-y thing where we say, what does a day in a life look like? But just as a snapshot, there's a lot of things that happen from 4:30 in the morning until I leave to turn the key at around 7:30, 8 o'clock. And those things consist of ice bath, meditation, gym work, running if it's on the schedule, making a delicious pot of coffee for myself and my bride, and journaling a little bit. Then, kind of like reading emails or whatever, but then blasting off into my day. And if I can have a morning like that, where everything that I need to do to help prepare myself for the day happens, great things happen. And I think it's infectious. So what am I doing on my 72-hour fast? We're talking about a lot of shit here. Might get a little too deep, I don't know. But for those of you that have made it this far, now you get to hear what I'm doing on my fast. And it's pretty simple. The first thing is getting yourself mentally prepared, because like I said, I've done 24-hour fasts, and I do those periodically throughout the year. But a 72-hour fast is a little bit of a different animal. So when I say 72-hour water fast, it's not just water, but definitely drinking a gallon of water a day, and twice a day. So I have a little, shaker thing, and that's what I put the water in from the gallon jug. But I'll put some electrolyte, like a 0-calorie electrolyte mix in it. Gives me some electrolytes, a little bit of flavor. I like grape. I can't remember the name of the shit that I use, but it's pretty awesome. I'll find it, throw it in the show notes. It's pretty readily available, but it's like 000, all zeros with electrolytes. It's fucking mint. Gets me where I need to be, right? So you want to keep electrolytes in your system. That's the other thing. Yes, you're fasting, but you also don't want to electrolytes are important, guys and gals. Anyhow, here we go. This is what I'm talking about, right? Because I'm just like a rambling man this morning, and lately I haven't found that muscle, to keep these podcasts rolling. But in any event, so a gallon of water, a couple times a day, hit it with some electrolytes, right? Coffee, absolute fucking. I really think that without black coffee, this would be incredibly difficult. Incredibly difficult. For me. I can't speak for anybody else, but the black coffee is really... Have I increased my intake of caffeine in the morning? Maybe just a little bit. But it's been great. It's been great. Trust me, it's been great. So the first 24 hours, water, a little bit of electrolytes, and coffee. That's it. That's it. You can't have anything else. Once you turn over 24 hours, you can have some broth. Now, like I said, I'm plant-based, so I went with the vegetable broth. And I don't remember. It's basically like, what is it, 2 cups? You can have 2 cups a day of vegetable broth, or beef broth, or bone marrow broth. Everybody that I was like researching that does the 72-hour water fast will do like the bone broth, But I don't eat meat per se. I don't eat red meat. So, and that's a whole nother podcast. And it's not because I'm some like animal saving vegan. There was a period in my life where I needed to strip down my diet because my body was crazy inflamed, right? And what I figured out is it's red meat. For whatever reason, when I eat red meat, everything flares up. My joints, my knuckles, it's like arthritis. It's horrible. So I don't eat it. So that being said, that's why I don't do the bone broth or the beef broth or meat broth or whatever the fuck broth it is. I do the veggie broth. And it suited me just fine. Put a little Himalayan rock salt in it, a little pink salt. And I got a nice big coffee cup. So yesterday, 2 cups. 2 cups. And it was satisfying. And that's what I'm trying to tell you is like I have not been hungry. If not for, because we almost 100% of the time, I shouldn't say almost, 100% of the time we're at home for dinner, everybody sits at the dinner table, right? And a good amount of time, I do the cooking. So I thought that was going to be an issue. Me cooking and sitting at the dinner table, me cooking the food and being like, oh, I want to eat this. Because I'm a pretty good home chef. I'm just saying. And then sitting at the dinner table and watching everybody enjoy the delicious food that I make quite often. It wasn't that difficult. I thought it would be difficult. It wasn't that difficult. Sat down, watched everybody enjoy their meal, and I sipped on my vegetable broth. And then when that was done, do the dishes, do a little work on the old computer, learn something on YouTube, and then go brush my teeth and get ready for bed. Read a little bit. Daddy goes to bed early, so, I'm not staying up all these additional hours. That's the other benefit, is going to bed early, okay? I go to bed, I am in my bed no later, I swear, especially this time of year, no later than like 8:30, 8:45. I know. I get up early, I'm usually up between the 4 and 5 o'clock a.m. hour, so it helps. So I'm not up like going, man, I need something to eat. My old man, my dad, I grew up with a guy that literally got up out of bed every single night. Well, first of all, before I talk about that, before he went to bed every night, he'd have a little sweet treat. Maybe a cookie maybe a little Debbie. You know what I'm talking about. Swiss cake roll. And then you go to bed. And then like around midnight, 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning, dude's getting up again. Digging in the cupboards like a little mouse, right? Finds a stash of Little Debbie's. Wash it down with like 8 ounces of vitamin D. Yeah. Little Debbie, 8 ounces of milk, back to bed. I often wondered, what did your farts smell like, guy? Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, go to bed early, and I've been sleeping like a champ. That's the other thing. You know, you have a few beers. I really do believe it's best. If you're going to drink, it's best to day drink a little bit. Start early, you know, and then let that alcohol kind of leave your system. You have a few beers, cocktails, whatever your vice, you know, before you go to bed, it really disrupts your sleep big time. When I had my friend Kristen Watson on the podcast, she's a sleep specialist, and we talked about all these things. You know, alcohol is a big sleep disruptor, right? I wasn't worried that I wasn't going to sleep because I wasn't drinking. I was worried that I wasn't going to sleep because I wasn't eating. And you know how a lot of people just need a little something extra on their tummy, little something extra in the tum-tum before they go to bed, helps them sleep. I don't think that's true. I've been sleeping like an absolute rock star. Dreaming. That could be a whole nother episode too. The dreams. It's like I'm going into like another realm. And I'm living another life and doing all kinds of shit. And then wake up. You know, I'm not disrupted sleeping at all. Lights go out. 10 minutes later, I'm definitely sleeping 10 minutes later. Don't wake up this morning. Eyes popped open. It was 4:20. Laid there for about another 2-3 minutes. Got out of bed. Jumped in the cold plunge. Had some water. Rinsed out the mouth. Ready to go. Grab some electrolytes. Make some coffee for my bride. Go to the gym. My strength is definitely like not there. The one thing going through this fast where the strength is like, you know, you need carbohydrates, you need calories in your body. And so I don't, like I said earlier, I don't eat after I finish dinner until like 10, 11, sometimes noon the next day. But I have that food in me from the night before. So when I go and start getting active in the morning, I still have shit to burn, right? On this fast, nothing. There's nothing to burn. Man, that's good coffee. But I will say, this has been so far with, 8.5 hours to go now. A great experience that I'm going to do again and again and again and again and again. I think what I'm going to do is once a quarter, 72-hour fast. Sprinkling in some 24s and 48s. I really do believe that this is something that is beneficial to not only like your gut health, you know, all your everything, mental health. It really kind of, I'm cleaning shit. I'm thinking about all kinds of stuff, you know. I'm forecasting for not only 2024, but 2025. I banged out yesterday in literally an hour and a half, a whole day's worth of, you know, computer work. You know, down at Manistee Beverage, working on the computer, banging out everything for Manistee Beverage, then working on things for my other businesses. And just bang, 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 bang. Can't stop, won't stop. You know, my biggest thing is going to be the temptation to kind of go back to the old ways. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do OMAD. That's one meal a day for the foreseeable future, just to kind of see how it goes. So what'll happen is I'll end my fast tonight. Not quite sure what I'm going to eat. Definitely going to have like some fruit. Right at 5 o'clock, I'm going to take in some fruit, and we have Betsy's homemade beans, which are delightful. So we'll have a little bit of beans. I might do like a get some additional protein on those beans. The beans have plenty of protein, but I might throw in just a little bit more, maybe some tofu or something like that on it. And broccoli, we'll throw in some fiber, which could be a little bit of a shock to the system, but just a little bit, maybe just like a cup of broccoli, and kind of see where it goes, But I feel like my calorie intake tonight might be like at most 600 calories, 700 calories, and then if I feel like I can take a little bit more, I will. But I definitely don't want to like shock my system too much by throwing a bunch of calories back into it. And then I'm not going to eat again until dinner the next night. And we'll follow that same routine probably up until like 4 days before the marathon. Then I'm really going to want to start adding additional carbs, building up my carbohydrates in my system. Still consuming a minimum of a gallon of water a day, and that way, so on race morning, I'm probably going to have like some toast, peanut butter, banana, some mangoes, probably an apple, get the sugar up, and then, get out there and get after it. And I will have a donut or 2 or 3 after the run, because that's part of finishing something really, really awesome. Accomplishing something like that deserves a little treat. So I'm going to eat some donuts. And I'm going to share that moment with my friends, fellow runners, run club members. It's going to be dope. So that's kind of where we're at. So a little under 9 hours from now, a little over 8 hours from now, grab a little bite to eat, see how that goes. But yeah, so the one meal a day thing is going to ensure that I'm at least fasted for 23 hours a day. So that means no alcohol, just water, black coffee, and then have that one meal at night. It's kind of a proven intermittent fasting meal plan that should help me shed additional pounds. Oh, I should say, as of this morning, I've lost 11 pounds in a little over 65 hours. So, 64 hours, whatever the math works out to. I've got a little over 8 hours to go before I can eat tonight, but I've lost 11 pounds. So I'll check again tonight. I will be full of water tonight, so it might be a little bit skewed, but I know that a lot of it is water weight, but that's still good. It's still good. Get that shit out. I mean, just get it out and get it off your body. You're carrying that around. It's 11 fucking pounds. That's a lot. So I'm glad that's gone. And we're going to continue to trim it down. And I'll report, in a little greater detail, how the breaking of the fast went. And, it'll be mint. So, hope everybody had a very Merry Christmas. Let's get ready for 2024. I'm excited for what's to come. We're stacking up guests on the podcast. It's going to be mint. We're going to get a new studio. We're budgeting for some new podcasting equipment, which is exciting. So that's going to improve what you are viewing and listening to. And I think that's really exciting. And that is directly because of you, the viewer, for liking, subscribing, following, commenting, and to all my supporters and sponsors. Without let's be frank, this shit costs money. I get income from some social media platforms. I also get income from ads that we put on the podcast. That money gets reinvested into the podcast. So thank you for all of that, because we're trying to make this bigger and better, and it takes time. And it takes time and money, and a gift to Gab, and some crazy guy that's fucking doing a 72-hour water fast. I love you guys. Have a kick-ass day.